everyone, thanks so much for joining me on the channel. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button today. We are going to look at coloring skin tones on stamped images. These are especially small stamped images, but I was looking for videos on YouTube about this and everything was very complicated. So I narrowed it down to 3 colors that if you got these 3 Copic markers, you could color a large variety of skin tones and be set if you're a card maker like me. So if you are looking for a video on this entire card, that is not what we're doing today. We are just coloring skin tones and these little stamps, but I did create an entire video on this card on the Scrapbook Pal channel. So make sure you check it out there if you're wanting to look at this fun card. One thing that I would suggest when you're going to stamp little small images like this is to consider going on and die cutting before you start stamping. So I die cut all these little images and now I'm going to go back with my stamp block, which is very rare for me. Usually I'm using a Misty, but with these little guys it's just so much easier to go along and stamp them with your stamp block. So I'm going to use a Copic friendly ink. I'm going to use VersaFine Onyx Black. And the way that Lawn Fawn does their dies, they have it set up so that they're all in you can kind of follow the same order as in the stamped pack. So I'm going to get all of these stamped and then let's look at the Copic markers I used. One quick thing that I did is I also put double-sided adhesive on the back of this paper before I did the die cutting. So now, once I've got my images done and colored, all I have to do is take the adhesive backing off and then I can stick these on my project. Just makes your project go a little bit faster. Let's get right into the Copic coloring. Okay, so let's start with our darkest skin tone. You're going to see me messing with some colors over here, but the darkest skin tone is going to be E57. Now, if you had a lot of other colors and you wanted to go in and highlight the middle of the face like the sun is hitting there, you can, but these are such tiny images. I just want the color to show off, and so I'm doing just one color. If I want to add some extra areas of dark, I can always go back in and add another coat of the E57. My medium skin tone is going to be E33, which is called Sand. So this is a medium. It could be, I kind of wanted to have a dark, a medium, and a light just to give some variation. So I'm going in with this E33. If you wanted to, it blends really well with E11, and you could even add some E00 or E02 kind of to the middle just to give it a little bit of variation. But like I said, since I'm doing these very small images, I'm keeping it just to one coat. Now I'm transitioning to my lightest color, which is going to be E11. E11 to me is the perfect color for Caucasian skin. I feel like this is, it may look a little dark as I lay it down, but as it lightens up, that tends to be my favorite go-to color for that. So I'm doing, just like I said, a coat of this E11, and you could highlight with something if you want to, but as these, give these just a minute or two to dry on this express blended paper, you will see that there's just enough variation to give it a really cool look. I'm going to go through and show you what I used for the hair colors in this. Now granted, I'm trying to keep this card with a lot of orange and white because that is the color of the team that I'm making the card for. So I'm going to be decorating with a lot of orange and white on the clothing and that kind of thing. So I'm keeping the redheaded kids more orangey than I probably would if I was just creating a redhead. Okay, we'll start with this darkest tone of skin. We're going to do E49 as our hair color that matches the E57, and I think this looks so good together. So I'm going to speed it up so you can kind of watch and you can look at the colors. I feel like that gives you an option to kind of see as they dry too, because Copic colors go on a little bit darker than they show up once they're dry. So I want to show you what that looks like. Of course, all these colors will be listed in the description, so you don't have to keep up with them if you don't want to. I am going to add more of the description with the colors in the hair too, so if you get confused and you want to write down that we did E11, E33, and E57 as our skin tones, then do that. But here I'm going to start working on my orange hair. And like I said, it's a little oranger than what I would normally do as a redhead, but I toned that down by using two colors on the orange hair. So I'm using the YR68 as this bright orange, and I'm going to tone it down with YR61. And like I said, I don't think I'd do the hair quite this orange if I wasn't trying to match the team colors that I'm doing in this. So I toned it down just a little bit, but I do want it to match the team colors for this card. So here's how our tiny friends look so far. They still need some coloring on their clothes, but I think they look precious. Okay, so now that we've gone over these colors, I'm going to turn some music on and just go through coloring these few little guys here. These are the football players or the sports ones that are going to go on the field, and you can watch and see what you think about the coloring. For this, I'm going to show you how I laid all these cute little guys out on my card and just give you a few general tips for Lawn Fawn cards. One of my favorite things about creating this sports card was creating the clothes for these little tiny friends. I tried to make it reflect what I see at a University of Tennessee game. I feel like I see tons of plaid, tons of stripes in the school colors. I'm sure in your university or your favorite team, the same thing happens. And so I just wanted to create a variety of people in the crowd with really cool clothes and things that really looked like we were at one of the games. So I started with my little guys that said Vols, V-O-L-S. So like we've got people in the crowd standing there with their chest painted or with their clothes spelling out the words. And then I'm going to grab some of my football guys and I'm going to speed this up and just show you how all these people came together. I created some that I felt like looked like cheerleaders and I put those guys on the sideline and some older people. It's just such a fun, detailed card that I think anybody from any team would have so much fun with this. Okay, so let's review those skin tone colors. The lightest was E11, the middle tone was E33, and the darkest tone was E57. So those will all be in the description along with the hair colors and clothing colors that I used. If you are going shopping today, make sure that you go through those links. It does give me a small commission at no cost to you, so I do a happy dance anytime you guys do that. I'm so excited when you help support me. So if you want to see the entire video of this card, then I'm going to put a link to the Scrapbook Pal channel, and that's where this card will be. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you for your support. Have a great day. Happy crafting. Bye.